listeners around the world. If you're watching this at a later time, well, then I guess good afternoon, good morning, whatever it may be. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us to the very promising season 2 of the story of Michael Bouey. And as always, Michael is here with us to tell us about himself. Michael, how are you on this fine evening?
I'm good. You caught me while I was drinking some water just to prepare because I know I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. I'm glad you're getting ready and staying hydrated. I can tell your lips are a little chapped, even from all the way over here. So that's important.
Well,
Um,
assalamu alaikum to you too. I forgot to tell you. So,
it is Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to all of our followers, subscribers. Speaking of, if you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, comment, and if you haven't already, make sure you go watch the story of Michael Bowie, episode 1. Very promising story of a young man trying to find his way in the entertainment industry. Now, last time we were here, you sort of talked to us about your childhood years and how you found your sort of passion or your love, your interest, so to speak, for the entertainment industry. Again, if you haven't already, please go watch it. Very important. But now we want to talk a little bit about um, some of the things you touched based on in the first episode. You told us a little bit about things you did outside the entertainment industry, a few things that you tried here and there, and I guess sort of the start. I wanted to hear from you. When did you realize sort of like you weren't so good at these other things? Aside from magic, which was your thing, your segue into the entertainment industry. When did you realize you weren't the greatest at some of these things?
I mean, there wasn't a point where I was never really good. At a young age, I really didn't deal with rejection, and I excelled at all of these different things in the entertainment industry. I mean, I became good at magic. I did soccer. I was good at writing plays and that were funny. I was good at acting. I was good at filming and directing. I mean, I really excelled in all these aspects, but I was so young that I wasn't at an age to where I could catapult that. And my parents, whether they were supportive of me, like wanted to do that, they just probably saw it as me being a kid and just having an interest and not really the desire to actually want to do it as a career. Most parents, if they see that their kid is very serious, maybe they'll put them into certain things that will help catapult that. I think it was just more seen as he loves doing that and will support whatever he wants to do. But it's not like they were going out of their way and trying to put me in like baby ads or something.
Sure.
They were just supportive inside of that aspect, which is not something that's bad. Like I said, I did things from playing soccer at a very young age and excelling. I mean, I was a superstar in that, and I did that for maybe about 15 years. From learning how to play the piano, and I was pretty good at that. Um, but those things, like I said, there wasn't a downtime of where I wasn't good with them. I did pretty good with all of these things.
So, okay, I don't want to cut you off, but so then if so to speak, I don't want to sound rude, right? But if you were, good at really everything you did, if you found yourself excelling at everything you tried, if you found yourself excelling at everything you sort of that grabbed your attention, why why the entertainment industry? I mean, why magic? I mean, you told us about Bones of Combo. Why the entertainment industry? What separated the entertainment industry from, let's say, soccer? Why entertainment? Why choose that? You were so good at these other things.
Well, um, I think that the big thing is that those things just never left me. I always had a passion for doing them and everything. To so much so to a point that um, I enjoyed making people laugh. I enjoyed entertaining people, and it was just hard to pick something. I enjoyed doing all of these different things, and so at a young age, you just do all the things that you enjoy. I didn't have much direction. I had the inspiration, but I didn't have someone constantly inspiring me to focus on just this one thing. I loved entertaining. but there's so many different things one can do in entertainment. So it almost became finding that niche. And with like my friend from childhood, Raheem, I really thought, okay, him and I would be that Siegfried and Roy and that Penn and Teller. And then when he dropped off, I kind of lost hope and kind of was doing other things and get into other things. And when you learn those things, and it was like, all right, well, this is cool and everything, but now I have a new interest. It was almost like I was finding inspiration in the entertainment field as I had lost a little bit of that higher inspiration for just magic, solely magic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 definitely. So I want to ask you something, off script. Do you think maybe if, and this is not to talk down on anyone, I'm saying this with as much respect as I can. Do you think if your folks, if your parents really would have pushed you towards soccer, or if they really would have pushed you towards playing the piano, do you think if they really would have focused on one aspect and say instead of, hey, Bowie's just having fun, Michael is just sort of testing the waters, do you think if they really would have focused like some parents do nowadays, to where they just push their child to the limit in sports or in acting or in this and this, do you think maybe you would have took another route just because of them?
Um, I mean, they pushed me inside of some aspect too with soccer, and I was so good at soccer, I got scouted by a football coach to be a kicker. And I always think about what my life would be like if I did that differently. And there's a well known quote, if you miss one stoplight, your entire life changes. And so anything that I didn't do, would I still be at this point? Is a question that resonates in my head all the time. But I think that at the end of the day, whether they push me for one thing or not, I still had a high amount of love for entertaining people. And so there's so many different things anybody can do as an entertainer. Which one would be something that I can do by myself with my friend dropping off? Which one is one that I can do by myself that I thought would be easiest? Because this industry in general is very difficult. And I think that there was a level of cockiness. To be someone that excelled at all those things, I just was like, well, I just have to pick which thing I'm going to go with, and that's what I'm going to be for a living. Most people, you can just go to school or do whatever and then move up to a promotion, and then boom, you're inside of that field. But to do this, you can do it on a mediocre scale, but to do it on a grand scale is harder than anything. It doesn't matter what kind of degree you have or what you went to school for or which school you went for. And I've learned the hard way, and we'll find out when we get to like my older years, that to me I realize it's not um, what you know, it's who you know. It's who you know and who you blow in this industry,
Mm.
sadly.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I can hear you purring right now. Um, Now that you bring it up, let's sort of talk a little bit more about your later years. Which you would refer to as your junior high years. For those of us watching that are a younger audience, those are the middle school years. Let's sort of talk a little bit about what things you were doing in these years. Middle school years, junior high years are very formative to a young man's, development. So what sort of things were you doing? Whether they were, performances in the entertainment industry, what sort of acts did you put on during these years?
Well, this is immediately after sixth grade. Sixth grade years where everything kind of halted. That's when I had written the plays. I had been inside of some plays in elementary school and everything. And, I had done magic shows and was loving doing magic. But my parents, they come from a highly educated background. And I think I stated that in my first episode, with her father being a doctor, her sister being a doctor, my dad, being an architect and everything. I come from that kind of highly educated background, excuse me, and I know that they wanted me to do the same. And even with elementary school, the elementary school I went to from preschool up until sixth grade was Catholic school, and they decided to send me for seventh and eighth grade to one of the most prestigious schools inside of Detroit, Michigan, if not Michigan, called University of Detroit Jesuit Academy in high school. Now, anybody that knows anything about that school, is similar to like your Catholic Central, if you've heard of that, and it's an all boys school. And I went to that school for 2 years, where the main focus here wasn't entertainment. I didn't. There was no drama club. There was no way for me to kind of do that. That school was based around general education, study, 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 exam, 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 become smart kind of thing. And that's what they want. I was a kid, so they were very supportive of that, but they wanted me to be highly educated. They didn't want me to be some dummy. They wanted me to be successful and make a lot of money inside the industry like they do, of the regular working world. That to many people, when you see entertainment world, just it may seem like a lost cause, and and it could be for many. Some people have been doing it for years and they never make it. So I was spending so much time of my seventh and eighth grade years studying and doing exams and everything else, and I was not excelling in that. I mean, I was failing classes, and even though I was studying my ass off, it wasn't my main department of knowledge to be book smart. Um,
Right.
I enjoyed making people laugh, and that's where it was. If I was growing up reading books all the time, then I probably would have excelled. But I spent all my time doing stuff from a different aspect with inside the entertainment field, and
So I don't mean to cut you off, but tell me this: you mentioned that you made a drastic change, right? As far as your surroundings went. That doesn't mean your interest changed, obviously, right? Your heart still was with entertainment.
I
You
forgot
wanted.
about it. In all honesty, I there was no time for me to think about doing magic and my love for writing and movies when every day I was spending doing homework. I mean, their whole thing was you work first and then you go play. I couldn't go outside and play with neighbors until homework was done, and this school was giving so much fucking homework. By the time I finished, street lights were on. Ain't nobody going out to play. I might be able
Right.
to get to a couple of days of playing on the weekend, but they was giving weekend homework too. I mean, I was slammed down. I completely forgot about entertaining.
Damn. Okay. Well then, and I was sort of gonna ask you what sort of things changed, to the point where you forget about. I don't want to call it your first love, but it almost seems like it was. You've been searching. You've been doing this since you were damn near five
Here's the
years old.
thing, and I not to cut you off, but not to also fast forward, but what I've learned at this older age, not at this younger age, but what I've learned at an older age, is that many people that are older have always had something that has happened in their life that has sidetracked them. Oh, I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor, and man, I had kids. I wanted to go into the military, but I had an accident and fell off the roof. There's always something that sidetracks them from their true love or their passion or their dream or what they really wanted to do.
Right.
This was mine.
So I want to ask you this briefly, right? Because you talk a little bit about how you moved schools to a very prestigious, strict school, right? And I had a sort of similar incident. I grew up sort of in Ipsy, and then I made a move as far as school districts to Ann Arbor. And when I got to middle school in Ann Arbor, I found my love for playing basketball. Michael knows about this a little bit. I enjoy the game of basketball, and I still believe to this day I could have gone pro. But when I got to middle school, I started to pursue this dream of basketball. I found myself almost on the short end of things, and I found myself being, how do you say, teased for trying to pursue this dream. At that age, I wasn't very tall. I wasn't very good, but I loved it. Now you talk a little bit about how you didn't have time for the entertainment industry, but moving a little bit forward during your, I would say, high school years, early teenage years, did you sort of find that to be the case with your interest for entertainment? Did you sort of go through like I don't know, a bullying phase to where you're like trying to make a comeback, but your peers just would not allow it?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about my high school years, that's a completely different story. I mean, I think like anybody, I've been bullied throughout my entire life, and I think that I was bullied because I was the dorky kind of kid, not the smart kid, but the dorky kind of kid. I had the two.
So did this happen at the Catholic school as well?
I mean, I've gone to Catholic school my entire life, so I don't know if you're referring to elementary or junior high.
No, just when you made that switch at the seventh, eighth grade.
I believe
That
so. Going into that school, a lot of these kids were preppy, and I came in as dorky, so I didn't fit in with preppy. You know, um, I I wasn't somebody that was as smart as them. I wasn't someone that dressed like them, that had all this kind of money, wearing expensive clothing and suits. I didn't like the whole suit. You had to wear a suit coat and tie and dress pants and dress shoes every single day. That was your dress code. And I wasn't
Right.
that kind of person. It was almost like taking me out of the element of entertainment and putting me inside of the element of the business world immediately. Um, it just wasn't something that fit for me.
Okay, so then can you maybe talk a little bit about how you transitioned from that change in the seventh and eighth grade to your high school years? How did you transition? What went on during those years? You already made one big change, switching schools to something where it really makes you forget about entertainment. Now, when you move from junior high, middle school to high school years, usually that's already hard enough. How did you deal with that?
I was scared. Finishing eighth grade, it did not look like I was going to graduate or that I was going to be accepted into their high school version of the school. And I just wanted change anyway. I think my parents saw that I wasn't happy, and so they put me into another Catholic school called St. Agatha that ended up getting closed down. But when I came there, it was a very small school. There's 150 people in the entire school. There was 40 kids inside of my graduating senior class. So it was about 30 to 40 kids inside of each ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. That
Okay.
totaled 150 kids in the entire school. It was just one little long hallway of schools on different sides. And when I got there, I just remember being shy because, granted, like I said, I was dorky. Then I went to like preppy, and now I'm just scared. I don't even know what to expect. But at this school, it was a mixture, a very diverse mixture of kids of all different kinds of races and personalities. And these kids were kids that were adamant about, oh, even though we're kids, let's be a kid, let's be a teenager, let's smoke weed, let's drink, let's have fun, blah blah blah. I wouldn't say that they were bad because of that, but they were individuals that wasn't like I want to study 24/7 and do homework all the time. I want to be a kid, and because there was so few of them, most of them came from an elementary version of that high school. It was a high school, but there was an elementary version of St. Agatha. So a lot of them already knew each other because they went to elementary school, preschool all the way through eighth grade, and now they're going to high school together. So that was probably about 60, 70% of them that already knew each other. But when I got to this school and they saw me, I was new. And they wanted to welcome me to that family. So a lot of them leached onto me immediately and befriended me immediately. And I actually, because it's such a small school and my personality is so wildly humorous and out there, they took a loving to me. I was making them laugh. This is what I wanted. I wouldn't want to go there to do homework, and so I immediately made so many friends. And because it's such a small school, I was friends with all of them. And because it's such a small school, I became one of the most popular people in the school with so many people. A lot of them are popular because it's such a small school because everyone knew everyone. And so I went through that entire, process of changing over to answer your question where I don't think that I dealt with bullying from that point on. Bullying really came from my younger years. I mean, I did have some bullying afterwards, when I grew to, joining the drama club. We had drama club, I think 10th grade or 11th grade, and I ended up joining the drama club. And like you said, sometimes people just take things out of context. If you're a tap dancer, then you're going to be called certain things. For me, joining drama club, you're gay. All of a sudden, you're gay if you're inside a drama club. You know, I learned how to sing and dance in my teenage years. My sister taught me how to dance, and I taught myself how to sing. And all of these different things. Drama club, singing, dancing, getting back into entertaining my new friends at this high school and teaching them magic stuff. I'm back to doing magic, what I love doing, and they're happy. I'm entertaining them. I mean, I was happy again here at this high school.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. So you would say that this almost second radical change almost brought back that fire that you
I think
found
so.
almost what 10 years right before you're in high school at this point, and you started doing it. You fell in love with it at the age of 5. It's incredible, right? How you sort of find your way around to what really made you happy, and I'm really glad to hear that. Now, before we get out of here quickly, you mentioned about you being in the drama club, 10th, 11th grade. What sort of things were you doing in this drama club that sort of, aside from making your peers laugh, and I don't want to say that maybe you were a class clown, but what things were you really doing to sort of, exploit this opportunity that you had of falling back in love with entertainment, with magic?
Well, like I said, there was just so many different things that brought me back to it and brought me out of my shell. And I really think that it was getting away from U of D. And I can't imagine where I would be. And I can tell you that I don't think that I would be here. Would I be more successful? Maybe I became a doctor or something. I don't know. But I, I did stuff that I enjoyed doing in my elementary school years. I was able with Inside a Drama Club to write, direct, produce, and act in a lot of those plays. And theater has always not been my main thing. It's live. It's live, and it's really fun to do. I enjoy doing. I can't tell you how many stories I have when I be on stage and we're doing a comedic sketch. Mad TV was very popular, and they had these two characters, Lorraine and the UPS guy. And my friend said I looked like the UPS guy from Mad TV. And so we did a skit because she did a perfect impression of the Lorraine girl, Lorraine woman that goes like coughs all the time. And I was able to kind of move real fast like the UPS man. And so we did kind of a skit. And it just when I look at her performing, I always would laugh. And she said something. And this is a live show. Audience is out there, mom's out there watching the show, and I was about to die. And I just had to look away and to laugh to myself. I love those moments about acting and theater, but theater is not my passion. I really fell in love with like movies, and I don't know if people, maybe this ages me, people may not remember a place called Blockbuster. I actually, in my teenage years, also started working at Blockbuster Video, which I worked at for many years in several different ones, where I was able to rent a lot of movies, and this really catapulted me falling in love with movies. I said, well, this is the start. This is what you were talking about, how all these things led me to it. I was already doing acting and stuff, and now here I am studying the craft of acting. No different from me studying the craft of magic to perfect that, because now my goal has shifted where I still love doing magic, and I still love singing. I was in the choir and everything inside of elementary school. I don't know if you can see me right here inside this. Oh, wait. Where am I? Right there. Inside the center. But I did all these different things, but really acting and being in movies was the thing I wanted to do. So much so that I worked at Blockbuster and really took it seriously. Like, I'm getting down to my senior year, and I know that a lot of people say, hey, this is the point where you have to decide what you're going to be doing with your life. And I really didn't want to go to college at all. My goal was to go into the military and just work the military and pursue my acting career. That's what I wanted to do. But my love changed from magic after all these years. I still did it many years after that, but my love and my goal and my dream was I really loved acting. I loved those moments of being able to portray something and be able to turn around and laugh. I love bloopers. I love just the feel, the atmosphere of it. But I wanted to do that on live movies.
Perfect. No, and I'm glad that I think that's a good note to end on. Sort of again, just you coming back around to finding your true passion, right, and testing the waters of the entertainment industry. Um, and we'll touch base on that next episode next week. To all our viewers out there, we want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure to join us next week, same time, same channel. If you're watching this, have a good night. If you're watching this recorded, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Comment any questions you guys have about Michael Bouey. I mean, he just gave us so much insight through his formative years, what it was like sort of falling out of love with entertainment, magic, and what it was sort of, what it meant to him to sort of find his way back around. And I think we can all relate to that in one way or another. If it's not with the entertainment industry, I'm sure we've had our falling out with people and we find our way back to them. Or in my case, we fall in love with, a sport and then, for whatever reason we let it go and we come back around again. So thank you, Michael, for giving us sort of this wisdom, this look into what is your story, the story of Michael Bouey. I will give you the last word before we get out of here.
Well, like I said, always I try to inspire, and the biggest message that I want to send from this is the fact of losing sight. I cannot stress it too much, as much as I would like to, because, like I said, people lose sight about their dreams and something happens, but it's never too late. People think it's too late. Oh, I'm too old to go back to college. No, you're not. I went to college with people that were like 50 years old. Oh, it's too late and for me to do this and do that. No, it's not. People are making up excuses. If you want to do something, there's things that will bring you back to it. Doesn't matter. I had that hiccup inside the road, the thing that was to deter me and take me inside of a different direction. and I came back to it. And I worked hard for it. Whether I become successful or not, it did not deter me. So don't let things deter you is my message.
Perfect. So on that note, subscribe, comment, like. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.